Hello. Welcome, everyone, once again to the High Noon Hemp Show. It is technically 12:01 p.m. Eastern Time on a Wednesday. As you can see, we continue to be plagued by some technical issues that we're in the midst of working on right now. Of course, welcome, everyone, to the High Noon Hemp Show. Hey, there's Beach, even though his mic is muted, but he is there. We are here.
How about that?
It is Wednesday. There we go. Now we're working.
Hey,
Welcome,
woohoo!
everyone. If you're watching us have technical issues live, and of course, that means
Ah,
it's Wednesday at noon Eastern Time. It's time for the High Noon Hemp Show. Of course, you can find us in various places, video on demand, and of course, the live video on Facebook at the Temptations Beach Facebook page, on the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel, and at Temptations on Twitter. The podcast, of course, search the High Noon Hemp Show on Podbean, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all of those nifty places. I am Stoner Jesus. He is Beach, high above the Temptations in Sharonville, Ohio, at the hemp quarters. Besides the now requisite uh, tech issues, how are things this week in the world of Temptations Beach?
things are good. I better hold on. I got to get
That's
really
right.
prepared here.
Beach is hatless. See how crazy things have
I
been at the
have
start of
to
the
have my
show.
hat on. I
A
am not
hatless beach.
not really prepared at all, man. I tell you what. Jeez.
There we go.
Okay. Hey, welcome everyone to the High Noon Hemp Show. We're here messing around. I don't know why my computer doesn't do. I don't know. Anyway, so here we are. Thank you everyone for watching the High Noon Hemp Show. We got a good show. I know that we got a lot of good stuff going on in the in the world of hemp this week. Um, Remember, officially for the record, the FDA has not evaluated this show for safety or efficacy. Now, you might notice my head's going to be kind of turned a little bit because my script is over here now and my camera's over here now. So I'm moving things around a little bit because I have to use my iPad, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, thanks again, everybody, for watching, whether you're watching live or you're watching later at some point or another to the High Noon Hemp Show here every Wednesday at high noon if we can make it. And so,
That's right.
welcome to what I believe is episode 2 of season 19.
Indeed.
Episode 2 of
Crazy.
season 19. Is that crazy or what? I've got it officially down as 216 episodes of the High Noon Hemp Show so far,
Oof,
counting today's.
that's
I
crazy.
can't. That is crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, let's jump right into the product spotlight. Let's get on with it. Let's get everybody on with their beautiful day after this High Noon Hemp Show. So the first one, we've seen it before and we'll see it again because it's probably one of the most popular products that we sell in the stores, and that is the Old Rock and Roll CBD Happiness Cream. And I know they're just little jugs and whatnot, but I'm telling you, we ran out this week and we finally got it back in, and some of the stores still need it. But our customers really miss this when we don't have it. Um, and it really does work well. It's probably the best topical that we have ever sold, um, because there's such a large amount of. I say yes, you say no. Um, Such a large amount of CBD in here and some other really good stuff that really does help people with all kinds of. One customer, I mean, more than one customer uses. A lot of our customers use it for arthritis, pain relief, anything like that. So, get yourself some happiness cream. Give it a try. You probably won't be disappointed. And I just like to remind everybody, when you use CBD or any of the cannabinoids as a topical, I shouldn't say any of them because I don't know scientifically about all of them, but I believe most of them, they stay topically. So it doesn't ever get itself into the blood system. So it stops basically right there, where you put it, where you apply it, and does what you want it to do, um, when you want it to do it. So, um, hey, here's the one we've all been waiting for. I suppose, I don't know if we're really waiting for it, but we've got our own Delta 9 tincture now. Okay, now we've been doing CBD tincture for, I don't know, our own Hemptations brand for 5 years now. It's hard to say how long we've been doing it. For a while we've been doing our own Temptations brand CBD. We added Delta 8 probably a year or so ago. Now that we have a source for legal Delta 9, or what they call THCA, they want to call it THCA in the world so people don't realize it's Delta 9. It doesn't matter. It's 100% legal, extracted from industrial hemp. Um, and so, again, 100% legal. And we're already seeing that our Delta 9 gummies have become quite popular. And so, now we've got our Delta 9 tincture. So you can add your Delta 9 to anything you want. It's in hemp oil, just like all our other products. You can use it as a topical if you want it, as needed, or add it to a lotion. If you want to use it as a topical, you can add it to food. You can't really add it. You can add it to drink, but it doesn't really blend in that well. But you can do it and still drink it if you wanted to. Quickest results, right under the tongue, sublingually. You let it sit under the tongue as long as you can, right into the bloodstream. Boom, boom, boom. That's how it works. We got the Wilfreds.
Oh, yeah.
Back in. So we got our Wilfred CBD smokes, and then of course I think we also got the Delta 8 pre-rolls. Wilfred Delta 8 pre-rolls back in as well that were super popular. But the CBD smokes are really popular. A lot of our customers use these to try to quit smoking tobacco because, it still looks like a cigarette, feels like a cigarette. The calming anti-anxiety aspects of CBD help, I think, with, doing the cessation of wanting the nicotine. It can help break that down. Your brain still wants it, but it might help it deal with it better and make it easier to quit, which is the goal, in my opinion, for anyone that smokes tobacco, because it is a known killer. So anyway, and then maybe you want to wrap your own CBD or CBG or Delta 8, or soon we may be selling Delta 9 or THCA flower. So they'll take CBD flower, they'll put the THCA on it, and we will actually be able to sell what would be considered legal flower. But if you need to wrap that up, these are kind of cool hemp, because there's 2 cones, there's 2 wraps, and there's 2 filters. And so they call it a triple double in there. So that's, that's quite a decent amount of stuff, for even the price is very inexpensive for all 6 of those items in one package, ready for you to use on your CBG, CBD flower, Delta 8 flower, anything like that. So get in, get some of that. Speaking of, did I send too many pictures this week?
I think, there was an extra one sent.
So it's 5 from the store this week, just for the fun of it. But these are the TKO pre-rolls, which are also very popular. And this is Delta 8. Once again, they take the CBD flower, CBG flower, whatever it may be, and then they add the Delta 8 to it. And so, you can see there's a lot of really good flavors, I suppose, with your gelato, your Pineapple Express, OG Kush, Sour Diesel, or Girl Scout cookies. So there you have it, 5 from the store. Now, the one from my door is a brand new one to me. I just found this, as I tell everyone, if you're looking for something, you need something, see if you can find it with hemp. Now, I know I've been talking about we've been using the Herbal Essence hemp shampoo. So this is a new one that I just found on the shelves at my local Kroger. But this is good old Suave. I don't know I haven't actually checked the rest of the ingredients to see what else is in this, and I probably should have. But, this is using what they say is all natural tea tree and hemp seed oil. So, good stuff. Hemp seed is, great for the hair, great for the scalp. Tea tree is supposed to be really good. I'm looking forward to really using this consistently, because it's supposed to be good for dandruff issues, and I have dandruff issues. Just so you know, you cannot cure dandruff. You can only treat dandruff. And I think if I remember correctly, it was like 40, at one point or another, I've seen it was like 40% of humans have dandruff or have the condition that causes dandruff.
Mhm.
And again, I have nothing against dandruff. I don't care whether I treat my dandruff or not. I don't, you know, the commercials make it seem like you're like a terrible human being if you have dandruff on your shoulders. And I'm like, I really don't care. We shed dead skin all day long. You know, it's a natural biological function. And nobody makes a big deal when we walk around all bare armed and stuff like we're shedding our dead skin. So I'm not saying that dandruff is, like a bad thing, but it is a typical thing. And I have dandruff, and I have no problem with it. Um, you know, I like the idea, and I've tried different stuff over the years, and at some point I just ignore it, and I don't care whether I have flakes of dandruff on my shirt or not. But I am looking forward to seeing, and I might have to maybe do some. So I don't know what kind of testing I can do to try to see if this doesn't in fact inhibit or help my dandruff condition in some way or another. So there you have it, folks, on the product spotlight here on the High Noon Hemp Show. Today, 5 from the store, normally 4, but 1 from my door.
That's right. Bonus. Bonus for you all watching
Bonus
and listening. And as is typical of the last few episodes, there is the slight crackling in Beach's audio now. The audio doesn't work before the show, and then it does work when he switches to his iPad. And after about 5 minutes, you start hearing the crackling, and then that starts to go away towards the end of the show. It's all very weird.
I wonder if that's.
Oh, now you're off. Now we can't hear you at all. Nope.
Am I gone?
Now you're back.
Am I back?
There you go. Now you're gone again. So now we can't hear you again. And still nothing. You see what I'm talking about? When it comes to the tech issues, this is exactly what we go through for the beginning of the show. Last 4 or 5 episodes. I'm not sure. I don't know why. The audio is just becoming a problem. Still no audio from Beach.
Seriously.
There it is.
Hello?
Now we have audio. Now we're back.
Don't touch anything. I'm not going to touch anything.
Anyway, that's all a very long, roundabout way of getting to the most awesome segment in internet history. And all I have to do is ask Beach a question. One simple question. It kicks the whole thing off. When I ask, what are you wearing, Beach?
It's true. If you're curious, what are you wearing, Beach? Now you will know, because I wear pretty much hemp from head to toe every day. Today's outfit is I got a classic head case Hemptations hat on the old top of the lid there. Love those. An old classic Hemptown Hempwear tee. I don't believe. I'm going to have to check into Hempwear to see if Hempwear exists anymore. I have not seen anything from them in a long time. But that's a Hemptown t-shirt, man. We loved our Hemptown back in the day when they were, and I think they're still in Canada. I don't know if Hemptown is. I think they were sold to a Canadian company, and I don't know if they're still making a hemp line of clothing or not. So might have to check into that too. I haven't seen a whole lot from Hemptown in a while, but they had really nice polos and these really nice t-shirts. But Hempy's belt holding up my Orvis pants. That's right, Orvis, the big brand. As you can see in my pocket there, as always, got my Green Springs Technology pen. Underneath it all, pair of Hemptopia briefs. And then getting me where I got to go, pair of Satori Link socks and some Circa. Those are some Circa. They're actually Skate for Cancer, are those particular shoes. Were Circa's skate shoes, and on the back of them they actually say Skate for Cancer. So I believe that when you purchased a pair of those, part of that money was donated to some type of cancer cause. So there you have it. If you're curious, what are you wearing, Beach? Now you know from head to toe, as per usual, here on the High Noon Hemp Show. I tell you what I didn't do is I forgot to send over a commercial this week. So I've been pretty good at doing that, but I don't I had more time than I needed this morning, and somehow I ended up being more rushed than normal. I don't understand. That is just how life has been these days.
That's right.
So anyway, but a lot of good fun news and products coming up here. This first one is this is the Patagonia men's lightweight. They call it the all wear. No, this is the Thrills. I'm sorry, this is the Thrills. Nope, that's not it either. Maybe I didn't even send over. Oh no, I don't even know if I sent over a picture of the shorts, but these are actually a Patagonia. There they are. Boom, boom.
Yep. Now we're working.
There we're working with something. These are on sale right now. So what a perfect time if you're looking for a pair of shorts. What a perfect time to get yourself a pair of hemp shorts from Patagonia, because as you can see, almost 50% or 50% off of these, men's lightweight all-wear hemp volley shorts. Now, I do think that girls could wear these just as easily if they wanted to. I don't know even honestly why they weren't more unisexed, because they're just a really kind of plain pair of shorts. So if summertime's coming, get yourself a sweet pair of lightweight Patagonia. And they may, and can't guarantee this, they may contain some American grown hemp. I don't know. I'm not positive on it, but some of Patagonia's hemp products do in fact actually contain American, United States grown hemp these days. So good on them. And they've been doing hemp stuff for a couple years now. You will be seeing some Patagonia items on me at some point or another on the High Noon Hemp Show, or probably have seen some Patagonia items on me in previous What Are You Wearing Beach segments. So, now we all know hemp seed is high in protein. It's got great essential omega-6, omega-3 ratio, essential fatty acids, magnesium, all these vitamins and minerals. Here's a new one that I just learned about. It is also high in arginine. Or arginine, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, arginine, which is supposed to also benefit the heart. Hemp is a heart-healthy food. I don't know if they officially put that on the label or not, but they should. I do believe that actually Manitoba puts that on their labels, that hemp is heart-healthy, and it is. And in fact, I have more heart-healthy stuff coming from hemp later in the news segment. But no, here's another, and I don't know if I guess it's a vitamin or a mineral. I don't know. I'm going to guess mineral, just by the way that it looks. That again, it can benefit the human when we eat it, and all humans should eat hemp. There's no doubt about that. Here we go. This is on a list of the 25 breezy men's button downs. That Thrills, we pull that Thrills hemp shirt back up. This is one that's on there. Very, very clean cut, nice looking short sleeve button down shirt made by Thrills. I have some short sleeve button down shirts I'll be showing off here soon, made by the Canadian Hemp Company, which I thought was a great name because the Canadian Hemp Company is THC.
That's right.
Or the hemp company. I don't forget how that works. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, but Thrills. Check out Thrills. I don't know anything about Thrills, the clothing company, but I don't know how it doesn't look oversized to me. It looks just regular sized in the picture. So I'm not sure what's going on there. This next one was also on the list, and this is the Faraday Breeze shirt. Yeah, I mean, of course, this one had to make the list. It's got Breeze right in the name of it, so of course it's breezy. I do like it, and again, I think the Thrills one came in different color points as well, but I really like the patterns. I think anytime anybody's using like cool patterns with hemp material, I think it's pretty unique and very cool, one way or another. So check out the Faraday Breeze shirt. So all kinds of good stuff getting made with hemp, and that's what we like to see. How about this? The national, and I did report on psoriasis in hemp, recently. But the National Psoriasis Foundation reports an increase in CBD use for the treatment. And here is a quote: CBD can be involved in not just anti-inflammatory activity, but it can facilitate an array of activities that resolve inflammation. It can stimulate the secretion and recruitment of cells that are important for removing debris and allowing for proper skin maturation and healing. Again, what isn't hemp great for? Honestly,
Yeah.
it's very difficult to believe all the things that hemp can do. But here is more proof as how hemp, and this is just hemp seed oil. As well, or no, these guys are actually talking about CBD as well. So I think that if you took CBD put CBD, like our tincture, if you took our tincture, CBD and hemp oil, rubbed it on your psoriasis, see what happens. Okay, because this is not only showing that it helps with inflammation, but it can resolve inflammation and then stimulate the secretion and recruitment of cells. Stimulate and recruit the stimulation of cells that are important for removing debris and allowing for proper skin maturation and healing. So it does the things that your skin needs and to promote healthy skin. So if you deal with psoriasis or any skin issues, I highly recommend trying a hemp oil based product and maybe CBD. Like I said, our CBD tincture is perfect for this because our CBD tincture, all our tinctures are based in hemp oil. And so you get both benefits, the CBD and the hemp oil, as far as keeping your skin healthy and good and happy. Speaking of keeping your skin good and happy, here's a product that was on the best cuticles products list. Now, this one was called the best cuticle product with essential oils. And the brand name is 10 over 10. I believe that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. It says 10 over 10 on their list, but it's all one word when they describe it. So 10 over 10. And this is the rose oil nourishing cuticle oil, but also contains hemp oil. And I know I was just talking about the hemp oil as far as cuticle stuff, recently as well. And again, hemp is just great for anytime you're messing with the body. There's really no reason why you shouldn't try to use hemp or have some hemp around. To make things a little better for you. I mean, again, we're going to start seeing more and more of these companies, and maybe not even bragging about it, even talking about it, but adding hemp to the ingredients because it will benefit their customers and will make their products better for their customers. So, here's yet another one for cuticles that is smart enough to add that hemp oil to it. Article called 9 Foods High in Magnesium. I was just talking about it. Magnesium is one of the ones just another one of the minerals in hemp that is obviously higher than normal. And what they say here is that 3 tablespoons, we were just talking about this, 3 tablespoons. So apparently 3 tablespoons is a great amount And maybe 3 tablespoons of hemp seed twice a day might be the perfect amount, because this says that 3 tablespoons of hemp provides 50% of the daily value of magnesium. It also shows that this article actually showed that incorporating hemp seed may also reduce heart disease risk factors like LDL cholesterol. And so that's a huge thing, because LDL cholesterol is a big problem with me. My liver does not do with cholesterol what it should, and so my heart is full of cholesterol. I'm skinny. I have what I would consider a decent diet. I don't eat a whole lot of bad. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I eat bad foods, but I don't eat a whole lot of bad foods. But my cholesterol issue, there's nothing I can. My body just doesn't do it right. So that's what's caused my heart issues. And so I guess I haven't been eating enough hemp. All I can say is I haven't been eating enough hemp in my life. But sure, eat more hemp now, because LDL cholesterol is a problem for me. So once again, there's that heart healthy aspect of hemp seeds. And that's what we're talking about here, hemp seeds. Hemp oil from the seed, or just hemp seed, foods made from hemp seed, and why you should be adding it to your diet. There aren't enough hemp food seed products on the shelves, but the more you buy, the more you eat, the better and healthier you'll be, and the more these products will be showing up. Supply and demand. It's simple economics. So if you demand it, they will supply it. And the supply may be minimal now. It's not the greatest, but it's getting better every day. And so, that's the goal. So buy yourself a bag of hemp seeds every once in a while, or some hemp oil, and even just a tablespoon of hemp oil. It's healthy for you. Make some salad dressing out of it. Get anything you want. Throw those hemp seeds in a smoothie or on your oatmeal, or however you want, just by the spoonful. I saw, years ago, a diet, and I'm not a big fan of diets. You should have a good diet, not be on a diet. That's the difference. Okay. But a good diet, or adding something for a good diet, again, was that it was funny, because I think it might have been 3 tablespoons. I don't even remember. But in the morning, and it's supposed to help with satiating hunger, keeping you feel full longer, so you don't snack and eat more when it comes to hemp. And again, that protein is huge. So, you can eat less but get more out of it if you add that hemp seed protein and omega-6, those essential fatty acids, all those vitamins, all those minerals that are in the hemp seed, to keep yourself healthy. Because, again, great for the inside of the body, great for the outside of the body. It's quite amazing that I don't understand why in this world of marketing, why the world of marketing and sales disregarded this entirely great product. I mean, there's millions to be made by all kinds of different industries, yet they want to still keep it demonized for some reason. Crazy. So weird. Hey, check out these shoes. These are the Salawa. I'm not sure how they're pronounced, actually. But this is the Puez Knit Mid Powertex. And they're using specifically, and I don't know, and I didn't look it up to see what the specific difference is, but they're using what's called alpine hemp, if you look there. And so I'm guessing that that's hemp grown in the Alpines, maybe. Hemp does grow decent in the higher latitudes. So I might have to look into what that means when it comes to what exactly is alpine hemp. But these are some pretty nice looking hiking, walking shoes. In all honesty, and again, these are part of. They can see they're breaking everything down to show you that it's good, recyclable, or earth-friendly materials, and so that's the Salawa Alpine, or not Salawa Alpine Hemp. It's wherever that is. I don't know even where Salawa is being used in these new Puez knit mid-top power techs. So see if I can get maybe some more information on these. We'll probably be seeing more of these once they hit the market. As far as a hemp shoe, which we need. Quite a bit of hemp shoes being made right now. Honestly, we've talked about quite a bit of new, different brands, but I've never heard of before, including this one. So good for them. Good job, guys. We do appreciate it. I don't know if I sent over. I don't know if maybe Brazilian vicunas. I think this was a girl in a white outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, here it is. So I think it's interesting. I don't know if those are hemp Adidas that she's wearing, but I'm curious. But these guys are, and this is a Brazilian company, Vicunas, but they're using regenerative and local sourcing fiber, including hemp, for their new clothing line. And again, that's very, very simple, very nice looking. I like it. It's nothing crazy. It's crazy that it's white, I suppose, because I feel like that means they would have had to have bleached the hemp at some point or another, which seems crazy also to me. How they got it white, I don't know, but I know they were using, I think, organic cotton and some other regenerative or sustainable materials. It was not just hemp in there, so. Again, that's, and I don't know, I'll spell it. Vicunha is the company. Vicunas, I guess. Something like that. I'm not obviously good at pronouncing Brazilian words or names. I'm sure if you're a Brazilian, be like, oh, it's Vicunas. Anyway, so pretty cool. I like it. Fun stuff. Again, hemp clothing is part of the future of saving the planet. Is if we could replace like 80% of the cotton or synthetic clothing, we would be doing this planet an unbelievable service. I've always said that. If we can replace, hemp can replace 60 to 70% of the plastic in the world. And if we did that, how great would that be? Hemp can replace probably 80 to 90%, maybe 100% of the cotton or synthetic clothing that's being made. And so, if we could replace that 100%, I'll say 90 just to be safe. I'm sure there's some clothing somehow, but I don't know how there is any clothing that we could not replicate. Any material, from the thinnest of silk to the thickest of canvas, that we cannot make from hemp, because we can weave hemp as smooth as silk or as rough as burlap. And so there's no doubt in my mind. The only thing we can't do is it's not stretchy, and that's where the synthetics come in. So if we need still to keep 10% of the synthetics out there to make things a little stretchy, I had a woman ask me about hemp stretchy pants, and I get it. And that's something that you almost have to involve some type of synthetic stretchy material to get that to work. It doesn't have to be 100%, maybe not even 50%, but a little. I know that they put it to get a pair of socks to be just a little bit stretchy like you want them. Like maybe 10% synthetic material in there with the hemp works just fine. But again, developing these materials is also the future. Right now, we rely on probably 60 to 70% of the material to come from China, and they developed the material to what we're looking for when it comes to hemp material. But we need to be developing those materials here, growing, manufacturing. Again, I have nothing against China. I have nothing against those humans that do that work, other than they are abused and it's not right. But I'm not for the abuse of them, but I am for them at least making a living and having some type of survival. But if we can get it from the United States, grow it here, the local idea is sustainable, but grow it, make it, manufacture it here, then it's ours. It's close, and we don't have to ship it all over the world to get it to us to make our T-shirts out of, or to make our jeans out of, or to make our shoes out of, or to make our clothes or our curtains out of, or our sheets out of, or any of those materials. And all of that stuff can be made from hemp. Hemp sheets, hemp comforter, hemp pillowcases. That's all me. And so there's really no reason why we shouldn't be growing enough hemp in this world to replace the cotton. And we just need to start doing that now. Everywhere there's growing cotton, we need to replace it with hemp, replace those materials. And that's the issue. Can't take the cotton away and then not have that substitute ready to go. And I'm not trying to take it away. People have a right to their cotton. I think that if most people were educated on their cotton, they would ask for a better product. They would almost beg for a better product. But most people, they don't take a second glance when they go and they buy clothing. They just make sure that it fits and that it looks good on them. And I have no problem with that. But they don't think of the consequences of that synthetic shirt that made from oil drilled from the ground, and then will not break down in the landfill very quickly. And then you have the synthetic waste, the waste from making that material. Not natural, and the planet has no idea what to do with it. And we know this. Okay, it's like throwing a non-food into the human body. Sometimes it breaks it down, makes it work. Sometimes it doesn't, and causes issues. And that's exactly what we do with waste in the world. Period. We dump it out there, and planet will be fine. It'll figure out what to do with it. But when it doesn't know what to do with it, then it just lingers, and that's plastic waste. Synthetic waste is all over the world, and we have a ways to go. We're going on almost 100 years, about 90, almost 87 years or so of synthetic fiber. And so, now we've got it once again, just like the 100, 200 years of industrial revolution that we're fighting to get the planet back. And I don't want to say fighting, that we're correcting. We're correcting these issues. I'm not a Luddite. I believe in, I don't think the change is bad. But I do know that the things that we have developed and the things that we have done to the planet as humans in the last 100 years or so are going to take a decent amount of time to correct. But we got to correct them. We know as humans we can't go any longer. I don't care who you are. You would be totally ignorant to say that we shouldn't do anything. We should just continue on the path that we're on. And the planet doesn't matter that much. And again, that's just ignorance. That's turning our issues into the next generation's issues until it's just so bad that we eradicate ourselves. I don't think it'll come to that. I hope, but the way we're going, we know we have to make the corrections, and hemp is what we need to do when it comes to that. This is interesting. We've had reports before on plants making cannabinoids. Now, there was supposedly a rumor out there that you could get CBD from, I forget what it was now, but it was not true. But they are saying that the woolly umbrella plant, High Times reported this, may include over 40 cannabinoids. Now, the biggest one is CBG. Now we're seeing CBG. It's kind of on the same lines as CBD as far as what it can do. What up, Flipper? What it can do from it's the same kind of effects as CBD, but the CBG is the precursor. So what they say in science is THCA, the big delta 9, CBDA, CBD, that starts out as CBG and then it changes and becomes these things. We don't carry a whole lot of CBG. We are finding that CBG can be found in high concentrates in the flower. So we have seen CBG flower before. We actually have CBG hempettes, little cigarettes, mini and regular size hempettes made with CBG. Our customers have really enjoyed them. I want to say for some reason, they've really taken off in the last 2 or 3 months as far as the CBG flower. So this will be kind of interesting. Everybody's going to be growing woolly umbrella for their CBG, and they didn't really. I don't think that there's any of the other big cannabinoids out there in the woolly umbrella plant, but CBG being one of them is that could be kind of interesting for the industry one way or another, because we are seeing that high CBG flower is becoming something that the market is demanding. So, and again, we do pretty well with our CBG flower cigarettes. So, all right, here we go. This is the good news once again that we're looking for. So, researchers at Western University have developed a sustainable packaging substitute using a hemp-based biomaterial. And again, this is something that we incorporate into the industries that already exist in mass amounts. I mean, packaging it's an I don't know if it's even a necessary need. Because again, if we could just get rid of most of the packaging that's out there, obviously you can't get rid of a bag of chips, but does your bottle of shampoo really need to come in a box?
Yeah.
Are there are certain things in the world that don't need to be packaged to begin with, but if they are going to be packaged, we need to just again start looking at tree-free options, oil-free. Plastic is a huge part of packaging materials, goods that people buy every day, that is just unnecessary and is wasting resources. And then again, luckily we can throw that in the recycling bin and hopefully it gets recycled. Most of that plastic plastic is recyclable as far as packaging goes. But for all those humans out there that don't recycle because they don't care, that doesn't help the landfills at all. And again, somewhat unnecessary in the long run. But coming up with, and this is something we've been talking about, and we're seeing hit the market. We're seeing hemp packaging started out as more on the paper side of things, which I think is more what these guys are doing, not the plastic side. Because even in this article, they mention how the materials they use, and this is a Canadian company, the materials that they use, I don't know if this is Western University, is that in Canada? But they talked about how in Canada, that's just waste material. Once again, and I've been talking about this for a while now, when they grow in Canada for seed, they just take the top of the plant, cut it off, take the seed, boom, they're done. Yes, I do know about dolphins getting high on pufferfish, but and so the stalk of the plant in Canada is all waste. It's all waste. So that's fiber, bass, all that stuff's waste. And so knowing that and using that material, especially for packaging, once again, I can't even imagine how the planet would feel if we could even replace, like, 50% of the packaging out there with hemp. Because, I mean, there's an unbelievable amount of packaging in our world, necessary or unnecessary, it doesn't matter. And if we could again just replace 50% of that with something all natural, sustainable, compostable, whatever, biodegradable, even, the planet instantly becomes a much cleaner and better place. So we'll see how far Western, I'm sure they're going to have some patents and pending and all that stuff. But once again, being able to offer a truly eco-friendly packaging option. And that's what we need, an eco-friendly packaging options. Tree-free, oil-free, all those things that we need to just stop doing. We need to stop cutting down trees. We need to stop drilling for oil. And we can do it. I'm not trying to put anybody out of business. Those businesses that do that now can easily invest in hemp and get their money back. Easily. In fact, I would think that it would be much cheaper, as opposed to having an oil rig out in the middle of the ocean. I would think that it would be much cheaper to just grow 1 billion acres of hemp.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the issue, is because an oil rig only takes up a tiny little area compared to, say, 1 million acres of hemp. I don't know how much, we're going to have to grow. And I'm not, trying to pull any punches here. We may have to, grow 1 billion acres of hemp to legitimately try to control or slow down the use of these other materials. But, you can grow hemp anywhere. You can, and yes, it's drought resistant, except for when you're growing for the flower. So, but when we're talking about the fiber, the material, we're talking about even the seed oil. The seed oil, may be restricted a little bit, but it's not like it's going to destroy the crop like it does with the flower crop. Yes, the flower crop, when you're growing for CBD or THC or any of those, Delta 9, that plant needs water all through its life. But industrial hemp, when grown for the grain or the fiber, it's pretty resistant. The worst thing you can do to it is give it too much water early. But once it's got itself pretty stable, which is 3 weeks into growing, probably, there is very little you can do to kill it. Once again, another reason why this is an agricultural crop that we should be using immensely. And again, when grown for the grain or the fiber, no herbicides or pesticides are needed. This is the exception to the flower. But this is the way it was until the flower was an issue with industrial hemp. We didn't even think about growing industrial hemp for flower until 10 years ago, honestly, on a large scale. And then we made industrial hemp legal in the United States. We understood the CBD market, and all of a sudden we're growing industrial hemp for flower at a larger scale than we're growing for fiber or grain, which is unfortunate. Now they're starting to balance themselves out, or fiber and grain are starting to catch up to the fiber and grain are starting to catch up to the CBD flower industry. CBDs, we're not growing as much of that, but we are seeing still an increase in interest in growing for the grain and also growing for the fiber. And then, of course, growing for the stalk, the outside, that bast or shiv, as we call it, that makes up the construction materials that people want to use to make hempcrete with. So, those are increasing. Flowers going down. Grain and fiber it's a true farming crop, because you just throw it in the ground, you go check on it every once in a while, and you leave it alone until you're ready to harvest. When you're growing for the flower, that's like a daily walkthrough and watching and controlling and whatever. It's not a real That's horticulture, not agriculture, in my opinion. Um, Both necessary. Don't get me wrong. But when you're growing for flour, that's more growing on the horticulture side of things. When you're growing for the grain or the fiber, that's more on the agricultural side of things. That's farming, and I think that's where a lot of the issues with industrial hemp right now are. Is you tell a farmer, hey, you should be growing industrial hemp, but you're telling him you should grow the flower for the CBD because the money's there, and then you describe how that is, and the farmer's like, that's not farming to me. That's a whole different market than actual farming. Farming to me is me getting on my tractor every once in a while, checking the fields out, making sure everything's okay, and going on and whatnot. Maybe watering every once in a while, depending on where you are. Blah blah blah. Um, and so, and that's the goal. That's the goal to getting the average farmer. And again, got to get rid of all these licensing and all this other stuff. All these licensing fees and testing and all that's got to go with industrial hemp. And then we will start to see really large scale. I don't want to say large scale. I should say more smaller scale farming switch to hemp. Because if it's not easy, they're not going to do it. If there's paperwork involved, farmers aren't into paperwork. They just want to go buy their seed, put it in the ground, and grow their crops. They don't want the cops looking over their shoulders. They don't want the Department of Agriculture in their states telling them they have to do tests on their end product and all that. That's just holding the industry back. And that's why, although it's growing in leaps and bounds, it's not growing as fast as it could because of this. Grain farmers are not going to grow if it's going to cost them $1,000 a crop just to put the seeds in the ground. Fiber growers farmers are not going to grow if it's going to cost them $1,000 a pop just to put the seed in the ground. And then at the end of the year, they got to have their plants tested for something that has nothing to do with a pair of jeans or a tortilla chip. It's just too much. And that's why we're here. That's why the High Noon Hemp Show is here. And, until we can grow hemp in this country as freely as corn or soy or cotton, I should say cotton or soy, not corn. We can keep growing the corn because we rotate. Hemp would rotate into a rotation instead of soy. So you grow your corn and then you grow your hemp. Soy and hemp are both nitrogen depleters. And so that's why you rotate them in between your nitrogen non-depleters, I guess, is how you could say that. I don't know. So, it can still be worked into rotation, just like soy was worked into rotation. I don't think they rotate cotton crops. I think they just throw cotton in, destroy it with the chemicals that it takes to grow it every year, and then they just do it again. And that's why cotton soil is it's meaningless. So you naturally would take, I don't know how many years to rejuvenate any soil where cotton has been grown for any amount of time because of the amount of chemicals and all that stuff that's used to grow cotton, because it's terrible. It's terrible. So that's where the world is when it comes to that. We need to keep growing more hemp, which we're doing. So article, yeah, this is a good one. Hemp jewelry is perfect for the trendy coastal cowgirl look. I think I sent a picture of this. I don't know if hemp jewelry is going to make a comeback or not, but it was kind of interesting to see that if you like the cowgirl look, whatever that means, that hemp bracelets are the way to go. And so we'll see if the old hemp jewelry. It's about time for hemp jewelry. It's been almost probably 20 years since hemp jewelry was a true trend. And if you didn't know anything about it, at least here in Cincinnati, probably 20 years ago, no kid and half of the parents in this city went without hemp jewelry. I mean, it didn't make any difference who you were. If you were emo, geek, athlete, everybody had to have hemp jewelry. It was quite an amazing little phenomenon um, that happened. It was huge. It was huge here, and I think that was pretty much countrywide, but super super popular here in Cincinnati. Was really kind of amazing to see all the conservative people or people that would had never even thought about coming into Temptations coming in because we had the best selection of hemp jewelry in the city, including beads at the time, which they really liked. So I think we might have made the bead world what it is. No, I shouldn't say that because bead world was pretty big in Cincinnati. Although I will say that everyone had to go to Bead World, like up in the northern part of the city, until Bead World actually opened up a store decently close to us down in O'Brienville because of the demand for beads at the time, because of hemp jewelry and whatnot. So good stuff. If you like that coastal cowgirl, I don't even know what that means. Coastal cowgirl. Is that like Corpus Christi in Texas? I don't know. Anyway, if you live in Tennessee, I believe as of July 1, you are going to have new Delta 8 and Delta 10 laws. 21 and older, perfectly fine. Makes sense. You can't sell it within 1,000 feet of a school, which I think is interesting. Makes me really wonder if there's any convenience stores within 1,000 foot of a store that sells terrible, terrible things. Including cigarettes and Coca-Cola for that matter. And those are totally okay because they're legal. And they can be around kids, but, and even though they went to 21 and older, you still can't be within 1,000 feet or so of the school. And the most interesting thing is it has to be tested for content. And what they're really looking for is that, I think from what I understood here, is that the product is being tested. So if you say you've got 5 milligrams of Delta 8 in a gummy, you have to have that product tested to show that it has 5 milligrams in it. And so, it's kind of an interesting, and again, this is just the state getting into everyone's business. There'll probably be a fee for that test. I don't know. Probably have to pay a licensing fee for that test. Whereas, once again, this is something that should be, if I have a complaint, like I don't think there's 5 milligrams of Delta 8 in these gummies, test it and find out. Not every single product should be tested to find out, because again, that's kind of government overstep, and I'm sure wouldn't surprise me at all if there's not a licensing fee, some type of fee to have that product tested, so that even though it's mandatory, which I think is interesting, mandatory to do. And this is just kind of their way of possibly getting some money out of everybody that wants to sell Delta 8 or Delta 10 products in the state of Tennessee. All right. Here's the last little piece of news we have. Vital Plant Science, which I like that name, Vital. It's spelled VYTAL, Plant Science, in Pennsylvania has received $1 million to support the manufacture and development of hemp bio-based products, including building material, packaging material, fabrics, renewable energy, and land remediation. I left off the word remediation, but so this is really neat, because there's so many different things here that they can get into and develop over. And of course, land remediation, that's just putting the plant in the ground. So what hemp is known for, because of the way its root system works, is it is a very good source for pulling toxins out of the ground. So what we're seeing is hemp being planted in highly toxic, whether it's um, pesticides, herbicides, atomic, uh, whatever it may be. Uh, the plant takes it and it pulls it out of the ground. And then again, we're still trying to find out whether we can use that plant to make a pair of jeans with, to build a house with, to even make food product. You know, does that do those toxins make their way into the seed? Is that an issue? Do those toxins make their way into the fiber? Is that an issue? Do the toxins make their way into the stalk? Is that an issue? Um, as to whether we can reuse that material once those chemicals have been removed from the ground, and if we can, and those are safe. Wow, it's like a double whammy. It's like you're cleaning the soil that we have made not clean, and then you're going to make a product which, in the long run, is once again safer for the planet once it's disposed of. And so remediation is, and we're going to see, we are seeing more Superfund sites. And there's a big one there's a big project in Illinois right now that's growing hemp along the watershed that goes into a huge lake that has too many chemicals in it from runoff. And so it's gonna be interesting, but they're gonna plant this hemp along the watershed, and they're gonna pull these toxins out of the watershed before it gets to the lake to clean up the lake. And that's a big project that's going on right now in the United States. And so we've seen other remediation programs in other parts of the country where it has worked and removed some of the worst chemicals that the ground has seen. And put it into the plant. What we do with that, then that has to either disposed of correctly in some way or another, or possibly used if those chemicals don't make their way into any one of the many different parts of the plant that we can use to do so many different things with. So that's big. We'll see. Pennsylvania is like 100% behind finding out everything that industrial hemp can do for it as a state. They're really, really cannabis friendly, I think, to begin with at this point. But industrial hemp, huge investments in growing industrial hemp, finding industrial hemp products, and in cleaning up the soil in Pennsylvania. And if you don't know, the very first oil rig ever in the United States was in Pennsylvania. And I don't know if it still operates or not, but there is a huge amount of oil still, I think, being extracted from Pennsylvania. So, if we can slow that down by growing hemp, that would be great. I don't think they grow a whole lot of cotton, but either way. All right, not a whole lot of events. 6/6, you got the medical marijuana meetup here in Cincinnati, Mad Tree Brewery, from about 8 to 10. Normally, I believe that should be a Tuesday. I haven't double checked, but normally that event is on a Tuesday. And so I am promising, unless something really bad happens or I get sick again, I will be at June's medical marijuana meeting here in Cincinnati. And again, I go to support hemp, to talk to people about CBD, CBG, all those, whatever. And hemp, and it's a great crowd, one way or another. And then 6/28, 6/29, you've got the Ohio and Kentucky Hemp Expo at the Duke Energy Convention Center. They haven't asked me to speak or attend, and they never do. No one ever does. Which I really don't understand. I would think if you were having a hemp expo in Cincinnati, you would want one of the predominant hemp experts in the world. And I don't brag, and I'm very humble about my knowledge on hemp. But I will say I know as much, or not more, about industrial hemp than a good fair amount of people on the entire planet. I've only been doing this now for almost 30 years. And again, my research started 30 years ago. In fact, it's official. My research probably started officially about 32 years ago, 33 years ago, when I was a sophomore at Heidelberg College. And I was becoming a communications major and having to write speeches and what. And that's when I started my research. When I graduated, 1993, right around this time, so it was almost exactly 30 years ago, I had to give my final speech to graduate with my communications degree, and I gave that final speech on industrial hemp. Not medical marijuana, not the legalization, but industrial hemp. I passed and I graduated. And I had to give this speech, and I have to tell you, not in front of my the professor that I was really close to and brought me in, but in front of Dr. Wolf, who was the toughest. I don't want to say mean, but she was very, very tough and very hard lined, you know. But she was actually impressed by industrial hemp at the time, and so that's I didn't know it when I did all that my life would turn out to be so hemp. I just knew a lot about hemp at that time because I had done other speeches and really done the research on it. I went to, I remember going to a normal event up in Northern Ohio where I bought my first copy of The Emperor Wears No Clothes, which is, the definitive Bible on cannabis, if you ask just about anyone. And that's where it all started. And it was almost exactly 30 years ago. So, all right. Thanks everybody for watching. We do appreciate you being here for the High Noon Hemp Show as always every Wednesday. If you're watching later, we appreciate that as well. Spread the word. Tell people to join the Jedi Hemp channel at YouTube and watch if we can. Let's get it out there. And we'll be back. Well, I might be. We'll see about next week because I might be coming from I will be, if we do the show next week, I will be coming from a remote location. And I may be scantily clad. Maybe you'll actually get to see Beach in his hemp beach wear. So we'll see. We'll see how I feel, how motivated. I'm sure I can. We'll get something together because if I hadn't missed a show a couple weeks ago, I might call it off. But since we did just miss a show, I hate to miss another one so quickly. Maybe we're going to take a break between every season. I don't know. Anyway, either way, folks, thanks for watching the High Noon Hemp Show. And remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, make everything else out of hemp. Having hemptation.
We'll probably see you next week.